had an eerie calm to it. With Section 144 imposed in and around the district, internet suspended in many parts, the holy month of Shravan was a tumultuous chapter in the history of this town. Just about 4 weeks ago, riots had broken out in different parts of the district amidst a series of clashes between the majority and the minority community. Taking lessons from the Braj Mandal Yatra of July 2023 that had led to clashes between the two communities, the local administration was indeed on a high alert. Only about 50 individuals were allowed from various Hindu organizations to perform Jal Abhishek at the local Shiv temples. VHP claims that local ancient temples are victims of encroachment. They need to be protected. The other side claims that communal tensions are being flared up purposely for political gains. While a tense day is past, but communal tensions are unlikely to die down permanently. The opposition claims that the administration went soft on a particular community. Is there any merit to the argument? Why does the right to worship of one community inflame another? Our focus on Viewpoint tonight.
यात्रा को हम यात्रा के रूप में भी पूर्ण करेंगे। यहाँ से धीर महादेव जाएंगे, वहाँ से श्रृंगार जाएंगे। और मैं इस बात को दोहराता हूँ कि विश्व हिंदू परिषद के लिए, सामाजिक संस्थाओं के लिए यह हार और जीत का सवाल नहीं था। हम करके दिखाएंगे, हम नहीं करने देंगे, ऐसे प्रतिष्ठा पे हम नहीं खड़े थे।
समय हमने किसी भी तरह की यात्रा या किसी भी तरह की जो ग्रुप मूवमेंट को हमने अलाउ नहीं किया गया है। बाकी ये तो पता ही है कि जलाभिषेक जैसे अभी आपने मंदिर में देखा होगा, मॉर्निंग में आकर के जो पिछले सोमवारों को भी आते रहे, जलाभिषेक तो कर रहे हैं लोग आके, अपनी आस्था है। आखिरी सोमवार है सावन का, तो जो उनकी धार्मिक भावना के अकॉर्डिंग लोकल व्यक्ति जो है वो पिछले सोमवार को भी आए थे, उसके पहले भी आए थे और आज भी दे करके गए।
यात्रा का जो नतीजा निकला है वो पूरे देश ने देखा। कितने ही लोग हैं जो मारे गए, कितने लोगों के मकान पे बुलडोजर चल गया, कितने लोगों के कारोबार तबाह कर दिए गए। एक बार फिर वही आंधी हरियाणा के अंदर विश्व हिंदू परिषद चलाना चाहती है।
शांति बनी रहनी चाहिए, शांति से बड़ी कोई चीज़ नहीं है। अपनी तफ्तीश कर रही है, जो कुछ वहाँ पर हुआ है, जिन जिन लोगों की उनको लगता है इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, उन सबसे पूछताछ कर रही है।
Well, as I said earlier, Section 144 was imposed in Nuh and certain adjoining areas. The entire standoff between the two communities has a history of long simmering tensions that have existed. 3 temples of Mahadev that have existed in this area, in this particular district, where the BVHP claims attempts of encroachment have been done. There was a mega yatra by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad that was organized in the last week of July. And during those clashes that erupted, it was during that yatra that the clashes had erupted. There were also serious allegations against the VHP that certain people accused of lynching were part of that yatra. However, towards the end, they did not show up. We'll be joined by our guests who are joining us on the broadcast tonight. We have Mahima Singh, who's the spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us on the show. Mahima ji, thank you so much for speaking with us. For starters, thank God that today was a calm day and the entire day could pass without any instance of violence being reported. Why does the Congress party maintain that the administration was soft on a particular community?
Jai Hind. What the leaders of the Congress party have remarked today, I think, resonate with the modus operandi of the BJP in Haryana and elsewhere. We have been watching Manipur burning for the past so many months, and now we saw what happened in Haryana the last month. And as our senior leader Pawan Khiraji spoke earlier during the day, and he made it clear that the BJP, it's playing out through its street soldiers, the RSS's playing out through its street soldiers, which is the VHP. I mean, you look at this, Anusha, it becomes very clear when you see that there's a clear denial from the BJP government in Haryana, and the VHP clearly says, we have not asked for any permission. No permission has been sought, so there is no question of any denial. I mean, this in itself is a mockery of the state of law and order in Haryana. You are telling the government that you can keep on issuing whatever or standing orders, but we'll operate as per our own, our own discretion. And on the 13th of August, I'll categorically indicate towards this incident that happened on the 13th of August. There was a Mahapanchayat that took place in Palwal district, you would remember.
Yeah.
And the Haryana government had clearly said, had warned, per se, at least, for the matter of optics, they had warned that no hate speech should take place. However, what we saw, the VHP leaders, three things I'll point out to. One, they said, if you raise a finger, we'll break your hands. Two, they said we sought licenses for 100 rifles. Three, they instructed their workers not to be afraid of any FIRs because that will be managed. So that is the way these, right-wing outfits operate, and the government never acted against them. And today, the government, it's like an orchestrated tug of war. The government, kept on saying that we'll not allow any yatra. But here they were, at the very boundaries of Delhi and the Nuh district. What turned out to be, a calm day, I think had to be so, ought to be so. It shouldn't have happened a month ago also, because the government.
But
is
I also think that, while they might have managed the situation today by allowing those 50 devotees or the 50 members of particular religious organization to go to a particular temple of Shiv and offer their worship and prayers there. But the situation is far from being resolved. I believe we have other guests as well joining us on the broadcast. Raman Malik of the BJP, Mr. Vijay Shankar Tiwari of the VHP, and Mr. Shahid Ali, who is the president of the United Muslim Front, is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Raman Malik, coming to you. We have Mahima Singh Ji from the Congress party, who has directly accused the administration of being hand in gloves with the VHP. They are arguing, good that you managed the situation today, but the manner in which the series of events unfolded about 4 weeks ago was a testament to how the authorities had neglected the situation. And even right now, sir, today's day was managed, and hats off to the local administration, but the communal tensions prevail. Raman Malik ji.
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you just fine, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So there are a couple of facts which cannot be ignored. So let's start with Mahimaji's comment. Hands in glove, I'll tell you what is hands in glove. Hands in glove is when a particular community in Maharashtra of Brahmins were targeted for Nathuram Godse. Or for that matter, 1984, Sikhs were targeted. Or Muslims in the Nalli riots. So these are just three examples I can give you. I can give you a list of them. So that is what targeting is. So let's understand what we are speaking about. What happened on the 31st of June was unfortunate. The procession was a peaceful procession which was targeted and attacked by stones and glass bottles, petrol bombs. Then there were people who had firearms on the hills, but the Congress would not speak a word against it because Kamalnath says, "Hum Muslimano ki party hain." Or Surjewala says, those who are voting BJP or supporting BJP are Rakshas. Or for that matter, he abuses mother and sisters, abuses from the dais to the people. So this mindset of Congress has been there prevalent ever since they have taken power in 1947 onwards.
But
Now, let's come down to this particular issue. We had a situation where there was a law and order issue. The government and the administration took certain decisions now, and they have executed that. We had made sure that those who think that they can supply armies of perpetrators of the 31st of June from Rajasthan, they were not able to do so again. Those who made sure that they spread venomous messages. They were not able to do it again. Also,
Sir,
those who
Ramanji,
wanted to plan and make a new Godara were not able to make so.
Sir, if the situation is well under control, even these 50 devotees, when they had to go to the temple today, and if your version is to be believed on the face value, I'm sure Mahimaji wants to come in on that, then why did these 50 devotees need the kind of security and the cordon to go with them when they were going to the temple? If everything is fine on the ground, if the administration has acted and taken action against the culprits, whatever administration believes is the right step to go forward, then why did these 50 devotees require this kind of protection?
No, you see, it was not a group of just 200-300 people who did it. There were multiple number of people, and as I said, there were people imported from the neighboring state of Rajasthan also, as per the local intelligence and local information which everybody knows in Haryana has come in. So now the point is that we do not want that their designs to make a new Godara is executed in total.
A quick response.
And we are wanting to maintain law and order as per the guidelines of the constitution.
A quick response from Mahima Singh ji, then I'll bring in VHP and Shahid Ali also into the discussion. Mahima ji, 30 seconds to you.
I want to ask the BJP spokesperson here what action was taken against the speaker in Mahapanchayat on the 13th of August, who said that it is because of Gandhi that this country still has Muslims, that Haryana, that Nuh still has Muslims. Haryana has a population of 7% Muslims. You know, in its history since 1966, it has never seen communal violence. However, BJP comes in 2014 and starts rolling out its hate agenda. And here are right-wing outfits on one end, mongering hate on the streets of Haryana, giving effect to their communal intentions, and the Chief Minister of Haryana, masquerades himself as a peace ambassador and says that we will not let any violence happen. If they were true to their intentions, if their words were true to their intentions, actions would have been taken against those who spread hatred on the 13th of August during the Mahapanchayat, where there were standing instructions.
I think Mahima ji, in the line of fire has been the VHPs ever since we began this discussion. It's only fair that I bring Vijay Tiwari into the discussion. Vijay ji, VHP और उनकी गतिविधियों पे बहुत सारे सवाल उठाए जा रहे हैं. कांग्रेस का एक सीधा सवाल है कि कहीं ना कहीं रिसेंटली एक जो पंचायत हुई थी वहां पर भी VHP के बहुत सारे लोग मौजूद थे. पहले भी जो शोभा यात्रा या जो पूरी यात्रा निकली थी उसमें भी VHP का इन्वॉल्वमेंट था और कहीं ना कहीं आपका जो पूरा मकसद है वो हिंसा भड़काने का है. आप श्रद्धा का सिर्फ इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पर आरोप है, मैं इसका उत्तर चाहूंगी आपसे.
ये आरोप किसका है, जरा एक बार मैं पूछ सकता हूँ?
कांग्रेस पार्टी का. हमारे पास इस समय कांग्रेस की प्रवक्ता महिमा सिंह जी भी है हमारे साथ.
ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है. देखो, जब 31 तारीख की जो यात्रा निकली थी तो वहां पर जो हिंदू मारे गए थे, जो तीर्थयात्री मारे गए थे, उनके मरवाने के पीछे कांग्रेस के नेता थे. तो अब ये स्वीकार कैसे करें? और अभी तक हिंदू विरोधी सारी की सारी राजनीति ये करते रहे हैं. पूरे हरियाणा में कहीं भी कोई मुस्लिम कार्यक्रम होता हो, कोई प्रोग्राम होता हो, एक मिनट, किसी भी सुरक्षा की आवश्यकता नहीं है. लेकिन नूह में, मेवात में अगर हिंदू कोई कार्यक्रम होगा तो सुरक्षा की आवश्यकता क्यों होगी? और जहां इनके मामन खान रहते हैं वहां पर सुरक्षा क्यों चाहिए? तो इसके पीछे कहीं न कहीं जो सारा चला है, जो भी नूह में यात्रियों के साथ जो मारपीट हुई है, उनको मारा गया है, पत्थर चले हैं, गोली चली है, मोर्टार चले हैं, उसके पीछे कांग्रेस के नेता थे. और वो नाम उनके सारे जो सर्च हुआ है, जो ढूंढा गया है, उनके व्हाट्सएप कॉल देखी गई हैं, उनके सारा
विजय जी क्षमा कीजिए, मैं बीच में बोल रही हूँ, लेकिन आप ये जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं बहुत बड़ा आरोप है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता इसमें शामिल है. मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगी और इस पे आपसे कुछ तथ्यात्मक जानकारी भी चाहूंगी, पर इस समय हमारे पास VHP से आलोक कुमार जी जुड़ गए हैं, हु इज द वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द विश्व हिंदू परिषद राइट नाउ. आलोक कुमार जी नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए. आज का दिन तो निकल गया, लेकिन कर्फ्यू लगा था नूह में, 50 लोग जा पाए जल अभिषेक करने के लिए. आपके तो प्लान्स थे कि बहुत सारे सैकड़ों की संख्या में वहां पर श्रद्धालु जाएंगे. VHP पर आरोप लग रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं आप लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन को खराब करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
अगर खराब करने की कोशिश कर रहे होते तो हजारों लोग जाते. कल सवेरे जो
मैंने एक बयान दिया, उसमें मैंने कहा था कि इसको अप्रिशिएट करते हैं कि G20 हो रहा है। कहते हैं कि मेवात का इलाका संवेदनशील इलाका है, इससे हम कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की दिक्कत खड़ी नहीं करना चाहते, पर जिस यात्रा का संकल्प किया है उसको बीच में नहीं छोड़ सकते। कल श्रावण का 8वां और अंतिम सोमवार था आज, इसलिए ये यात्रा पूरी होना आवश्यक था। हमने सांकेतिक की है, 125 लोग 3 दिन में आए हैं और हमको संतोष है कि हमारा संकल्प भी पूरा हुआ और हम किसी के लिए समस्या भी।
आलोक कुमार जी, आपके कनेक्शन में बहुत दिक्कत आ रही है, लेकिन एक सवाल मैं आपसे और लूंगी। जितने भी श्रद्धालु थे जब वो जल अभिषेक के लिए गए तो उनको हैवी सिक्योरिटी में वहां पर ले जाया गया और हैवी सिक्योरिटी के साथ उनको वापस लाया गया। वीएचपी पर यह भी आरोप है कि लगभग मेरे ख्याल से जब 13 तारीख को एक पंचायत हुई थी जिसके बारे में कांग्रेस पार्टी भी बात कर रही है, उसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे भड़काऊ भाषण या भड़काऊ स्टेटमेंट्स थे, बयान थे जो विश्व हिंदू परिषद के नेताओं ने दिए थे, क्योंकि आपको पुलिस या प्रशासन का कोई डर नहीं है।
मैं नहीं, वो जो पंचायत थी।
आलोक जी, मैं क्षमा चाहूंगी, आपका कनेक्शन बहुत खराब है। आई विल रिक्वेस्ट माय टीम टू रीपैच आलोक कुमार जी। वी कैन बेयरली हियर हिम और अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट ही इज सेइंग। आई विल गो बैक टू द डिबेट। शाहिद अली जी, मैं आपके पास आना चाहूंगी। आई कम बैक टू यू। A lot of allegations have been raised by the VHP on the Muslim community as well. It is being argued that whenever there is a procession or there is some kind of activity or a religious activity which is related to the Hindu sentiment, it requires some kind of protection. यही चीज थी जो विजय जी अभी बोल रहे थे कि जब भी कोई हिंदू उत्सव होता है उसको कहीं ना कहीं पुलिस प्रोटेक्शन की जरूरत पड़ जाती है। ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है नूह में, इसका जवाब मिलना चाहिए।
अब से पहले जितने भी प्रोसेशंस हुए, जितने भी धार्मिक अनुष्ठान हुए, किसी भी मजहब के हुए, किसी को किसी प्रोटेक्शन की जरूरत पड़ी क्या? कभी कोई जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। और इस बार जो ये सब कुछ हुआ 31 तारीख को, वो क्यों हुआ सबको मालूम है कि अगर आपने हेट स्पीचेस रोक ली गई होती, अगर आपके द्वारा जो सोशल मीडिया पे इस भड़काऊ भाषण चल रहे थे, भड़काऊ मैसेजेस चल रहे थे, और जो ये जो गुंडे किस्म के लोग या क्रिमिनल किस्म के लोग जो प्रोसेशन में शामिल हो गए थे, सारे श्रद्धालु क्रिमिनल नहीं थे, जो क्रिमिनल किस्म के लोग शामिल हो गए थे, जो हथियार ले लेके जा रहे थे, यहाँ पर जो बैंड हथियार है उनको लेके जा रहे थे, अगर उनको रोक लिया गया होता, अगर उनको सिर्फ रोक लिया गया होता, मैं कहता हूं कि दोनों तरफ के जो उन्मादी लोग हैं अगर उनको रोक ले, उन पर सरकार नजर रख ले, तो सरकार की नजर में होते कोई भी उन्माद हो ही नहीं सकता। लेकिन उनको नहीं रोका जाना, दंगे को भड़का देना, तो कहीं ना कहीं इसमें सरकार की संलिप्तता शामिल है, कहीं ना कहीं इसमें सरकार की संलिप्तता शामिल है। क्योंकि जब इंटेलिजेंस सरकार को इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहा है कि इस तरह के मैसेजेस चल रहे हैं, भड़काऊ मैसेजेस चल रहे हैं और कुछ भी हो सकता है, उसके बावजूद सरकार उस पर कोई स्टेप नहीं ले रही, ना उन लोगों को गिरफ्तार, आज तक भी गिरफ्तार नहीं किया, बल्कि भानु मानेसर को तो, और जो दूसरे लोग हैं उसमें से एक बलि का बकरा किसी को बना के गिरफ्तार कर लिया 13 तारीख को जो हुई। अब किसी एफआईआर की जरूरत नहीं है, ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कह दिया कोई भी भड़काऊ भाषण था उसको गिरफ्तार करिए फौरन, उसके खिलाफ एफआईआर करिए, कोई भी एक्शन नहीं लिया जा रहा। तो इसको सिचुएशन को इस कदर वोलेटाइल किया जा रहा है कि यहां पर ये दंगे भड़के। मैं ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर से डिमांड करता हूं इस बात की आपके माध्यम से कि इन लोगों की जांच जरा अच्छी तरह से करवा लें। कहीं ये आईएसआई से तो फंडेड नहीं है ये लोग कि इस तरह की जो अब G20 यहां पर चल रहा है, हम लोग चांद पे जा रहे हैं,
बहुत बड़ा आरोप है जो आप लगा रहे हैं। आलोक कुमार जी हमारे साथ वापस हैं ब्रॉडकास्ट पर। आलोक कुमार जी, हमारे साथ शाहिद अली हैं, महिमा सिंह है, कांग्रेस पार्टी की, बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता बैठे हुए हैं। वीएचपी पे जो इल्जाम लगाए, मैं आपसे सीधे सीधे पूछती हूँ कि जिस दिन दंगे भड़के, जिस दिन हिंसा हुई और उसके बाद भी बहुत सारे एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स हैं जो वीएचपी या उन श्रद्धालुओं के जत्थे का हिस्सा बन गए थे। बहुत सारे ऐसे वीएचपी के सो कॉल्ड समर्थक हैं जिनके पास हथियार थे और वो कहीं ना कहीं दंगा भड़काने का प्रयास कर रहे थे।
ये आरोप गंभीर है और गलत है। मोनू मानेसर का नाम अभी लिया जा रहा था
जी।
राजस्थान जो कांग्रेस का शासित प्रदेश है, उसके डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस ने मीडिया से कहा है कि हमने मोनू मानेसर को गिरफ्तार इसलिए नहीं किया क्योंकि उस हत्याकांड में उसकी कोई भी संलिप्तता नहीं पाई है। ये उन्होंने मीडिया को कहा। मेरा एक बात कहना है कि हेट स्पीच के बारे में वो मेरी स्पीच है या तेरी स्पीच है, इस फर्क को समाप्त करना चाहिए। जो कोई भी हेट स्पीच देता है, किसी भी धर्म का, किसी भी पार्टी का, किसी भी ग्रुपिंग का, उसको कंडेम किया जाना चाहिए, दोषी को गिरफ्तार किया जाना चाहिए और कानून ने अपना काम करना चाहिए। दुर्भाग्य ये होता है कि हम एक दूसरे के हेट स्पीचेस को कोट करते हैं और कोट करके अपनी स्पीच को जस्टिफाई करते हैं।
नहीं आलोक जी, आप एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोल रहे हो। किसी भी लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन को इसी तरह से बात करनी चाहिए, लेकिन एक सीधा सवाल है कि विश्व हिंदू परिषद की आड़ में अगर कुछ लोग हथियार लेके घूम रहे हैं या गुंडागर्दी कर रहे हैं या दंगे भड़का रहे हैं, तो किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की किस तरह की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है, किस तरह का दायित्व बनता है?
हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि हम घोषणा करें
जी,
अगर ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति है कि ये हमारा व्यक्ति नहीं है, और फिर हम पुलिस को कहें कि तुम कार्रवाई करने के लिए स्वतंत्र हो। मैं आपसे कहूंगा कि हमारे भाषणों की जांच करवाने के लिए हम अपने आप को प्रस्तुत करते हैं। विश्व हिंदू परिषद के पदाधिकारियों ने गैर जिम्मेवारी के भाषण नहीं दिए और आपने ठीक कहा, अगर हमारे नाम की आड़ में कोई कुछ करता है तो सरकार कार्रवाई करे, हम उसका समर्थन नहीं करेंगे।
मेरा अंतिम प्रश्न आपसे कि कुछ मंदिरों की बात है जो विश्व हिंदू परिषद ने कही थी, और जैसा कि मैं मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स में पढ़ रही थी, पुरानी कुछ इंटरव्यूज देख रही थी, उन मंदिरों को लेकर विश्व हिंदू परिषद ने कुछ चिंताएं जताई थी। उसमें और भी कुछ हिंदू संगठन थे जिनके बयान थे, लेकिन ये जिन मंदिरों की आप बात कर रहे हैं उनमें क्या दिक्कतें हैं, क्या समस्याएं हैं जिनको विश्व हिंदू परिषद हाईलाइट करना चाहता है?
आप कौन से मंदिरों के बारे में बात कर रही हैं?
एक श्रृंगार महादेव का मंदिर है, अगर मैं गलत नहीं बोल रही हूं तो, और कुछ शिव टेम्पल्स की बात हुई थी जहां पर यह बात की जा रही थी कि वहां पर इंक्रोचमेंट का इशू आ रहा है। माफ कीजिएगा अगर नाम गलत हो तो, लेकिन इंक्रोचमेंट क्या वहां आपके लोकल टेम्पल्स में किसी तरीके का इशू है जो विश्व हिंदू परिषद उठा रहा है?
मैं एक एक मंदिर के डिटेल से परिचित नहीं हूँ, पर मुझे संतोष है कि श्रृंगार मंदिर का जो बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा ये लोगों ने एनक्रोच किया हुआ था, पुलिस उसको मुक्त करा पाई है और वो उन्होंने वापस मंदिर को सौंपा है। ये समस्या देश भर की है और देश भर के पूजा स्थानों की है। इसके बारे में भी हमको ये प्रयत्न करना होगा कि मंदिरों की भूमि का एनक्रोचमेंट नहीं हो, श्रृंगार का था।
जी जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आलोक कुमार जी हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए और हमसे बात करने के लिए। आई वांट टू गो बैक टू द डिस्कशन वंस अगेन। Shahid Ali ji, VHP clearly argues that if there is somebody who has done wrong from our organization, the police and the administration should come forward and arrest them. Now, are you arguing that the government has not done its job and the government is hand in gloves with organizations like VHP? Is that your point?
मुझे कहावत याद आ रही है, हाथी के दांत खाने की ओर दिखाने की ओर।
जी।
What steps they have taken? Please ask them to cite even one example or one step which they have taken to control these kind of persons, to not to make hate speeches, to tackle with these kind of criminals, these kind of terrorists, those who have been causing terror in the atmosphere, those who have been causing rift in the society. Please ask them to cite even one example or one step which they have taken. कुछ भी कह देंगे साहब, हम तो ये ऐसा कह दिया हमने, या हम ऐसा कह देते हैं कि साहब वो हमारा नहीं है। आप बताइए ना किस किस को आपने पकड़ के पुलिस को दिया, किस किस को आपने कहा कि हाँ साहब इनको गिरफ्तार कर लीजिए, ये लोग हमारे लोग नहीं थे। तो जो लोग वहां पर हथियार लेके चल रहे थे, जो लोग वहां पर उन्माद फैला रहे थे, क्या उनमें से किसी
रमन मलिक जी, कितने लोगों को आपने अरेस्ट किया है? एक बात होती है बोल देना, बड़े शब्द बोल देना, जैसे कि बोल रहे हैं हाथी के दांत खाने के और दिखाने के, और आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपने सब पे एक्शन लिया है कि, लेकिन क्या विश्व हिंदू परिषद के लोगों को या हिंदू संगठन के उन लोगों को जिनने कोई भी अनैतिक या गैर कानूनी काम किया है, हैव दे बीन अरेस्टेड बाय द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन?
देखिए, बहुत सारे विषय हैं
जी।
और इन विषयों को एक सांप्रदायिक रंग देने के लिए कुछ लोग चेष्टा कर रहे हैं आपकी डिबेट पे भी। मैं एक चीज बड़ी क्लियरली आई वांट टू से which has to be understood. We have made sure that we take care of everybody who disrupted the entire law and order situation in that area on the 31st and who were instrumental before the incident happened and after the incident also, who were who went hiding and who are still hiding and
Raman ji,
people who are still trying to
सवाल तो यही है. That's the moot question that they are saying, that you're saying this in as many words, but you cannot cite a single
नहीं,
example. You
हमने
cannot
300
cite a
से
single
ऊपर
example.
लोगों को
आप इनको कोई
arrest
उदाहरण दे सकते हैं, कोई एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हैं?
हमने 300 से ऊपर लोगों को अरेस्ट कराया है, जो दोषी हैं, जो छुप रहे थे, जो पुलिस के ऊपर फायर कर रहे थे, उनके अरेस्ट के समय उनको एनकाउंटर करके भी हमने अरेस्ट कराया है। तो हम तो कानून की अनुपालना कर रहे हैं। लेकिन मैं एक चीज आज आपके यहाँ पे पूछता हूँ, ये सारे की सारी जो जमात है ना, ये चुप इस बात पे है। मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ, राकेश टिकैत जो इनका पाला हुआ, कांग्रेस का पाला हुआ एक व्यक्ति है, उसने जो अभी ये भड़काऊ भाषण दिया कि अगर वीएचपी निकालेगी हम ट्रैक्टर लेकर आ जाएंगे, ये लेकर, none of them were competent even to have a word of condemnation for him.
As I'm coming to the close of this debate, I have to give Congress party also a chance. Mahima Singh ji, a lot of things have been said by the Congress party, including the fact that you're responsible in some way, as VHP argues, for inciting riots, and somewhere the likes of tickets are working under the leadership or under the guidance of the Congress party. You're equally responsible.
अनुषा, इस दौरे सियासत का बस इतना फसाना है, बस्ती भी जलानी है, मातम भी मनाना है. This is what the BJP does. And then there are these organizations that work under the cover of the BJP and rear hoodlums like Monu Manesar. And then the BJP says that the Rajasthan government is responsible, or whoever is responsible. Monu Manesar is being reared, is being protected by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. They know his whereabouts, but they don't hand him over. There are 6 FIRs against Monu Manesar in Haryana, 1 in Rajasthan. Rajasthan police comes to Haryana to prosecute Monu Manesar. Haryana police registers an FIR against the Rajasthan police itself. Apart from that, weeks ahead of this yatra in July, there was a virtual war on social media going on. There was intel by the CID provided to the government of Haryana, which was ignored. We heard the Deputy Chief Minister of Haryana telling himself that we were not prepared, we had not been informed properly. So you see, one is that there is breakage between the coalition partners of Haryana government. JJP speaks one language and the BJP speaks another, which is why the law and order is failing, because the BJP is so power hungry, and to cling to the power, they will go any mile, they will go to any extent at the cost of law and order, at the cost of innocent lives of the people of Haryana. They have turned the green state of Haryana into a battleground, into a communal battleground, and it is shameful. And
let's see about the 300 arrests that the administration is claiming that they have made so far. In how many cases they are even able to secure any kind of conviction or even get some kind of custody of the accused, because the Delhi riots cases are an example where multiple arrests were made by the Delhi police authorities, but case after case the courts have given bail to many accused because the police has failed to produce evidence. And that's the reality of communal tensions in our country. They make for great optics as far as political debates are concerned, but in court of law there is thin and flimsy evidence that administrations are able to produce. With that, it's a wrap. Mr. Raman Malik, Mahima Singh, Vijay Shankar Tiwari and Mr. Shahid Ali, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. We are slipping into a very short break, but on the other side we talk about the alliance, I.N.D.I.A. There's a crucial meet, a third meet, which is all set to happen in Mumbai. Ahead of that meet, the cracks are pretty imminent. Now, would they be able to? Will the alliance be able to work through these cracks? That's the key question we ask.
Co-powered by.
And a satellite placed in the halo or orbit around the L1 point has the major advantage of continuously viewing the sun without any occultation or any kind of eclipses. This will provide a greater advantage observing the solar activities and its effect on space weather in real time. My colleague Ritu with us on the broadcast to give us more details. Ritu, tell us about this mission.
Well, so after moon, it is the time for the sun for ISRO. In fact, so now what we are seeing that the ISRO has tweeted this, making it very official about the launch of the Aditya L1, and also confirming the date as well. Because remember, the ISRO earlier had told that it would be in the first week of the September, but now the ISRO says that the launch will be on the 2nd September. In fact, now the Aditya L1 is the mission. In fact, it's the first mission of the ISRO to study the sun. So the satellite shall be placed in the halo orbit around the Lagrange point 1 is what we are given to understand of the Sun-Earth system. In fact, see, this is very interesting even more because this is going to be about 1.5 million kilometer journey of this particular, the mission, in fact, from the Earth. And it will also take around 120 days to reach the designated place. So yes, after moon, it is the sun for ISRO now.
ISRO now, as my colleague Ritu is pointing out. For how long has ISRO been working on this mission, Ritu? And what exactly are the expectations from it?
One thing you see, with this mission, the ISRO will be able to study the surface of the moon, various elements again there as well will be studied by the ISRO, which we will have to wait for some more time in specifically that what exactly the ISRO is expecting through this mission. But remember, the chairman of the ISRO, S. Somnath, in fact, just last week when the ISRO soft landing was, the Chandrayaan-3 soft landing was achieved on the moon's south pole, that's when the ISRO chairman confirmed it, saying that this, in fact, it has already moved to the Sriharikota, and there the launch will take place, and this will be completely to study the surface of the sun. This, in fact, was a long time plan of the ISRO as well. The ISRO was working on this for a couple of years now. So yes, this is yet another big mission of the ISRO.
My colleague Shrishti is also with us on the broadcast. Shrishti tracks the space sector for us, and she'll give us more details about this one. Shrishti, how ambitious is this program? Is it a first of its kind program for the ISRO, or they have done something before like this before? What are the examples across the world for exploring the sun or its orbit?
Right. So different countries have been exploring the sun. NASA has carried out missions in the past, but for India, this will be the first of its kind mission. So we are planning to send a spacecraft and place it at a point called L1, which is at a distance between the sun and the Earth, and it will have a lot of payloads on it. But the most important part of this mission is that we have a 90 kg payload called the Visible Line Emission Coronagraph that has been created, that has been worked upon by scientists from the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. And they have been working on this payload for about 15 years now. It's a very complex payload and took a lot of hard work from the scientists to integrate all these complex, elements into it. So the objective is to basically understand the heating of the sun's outer layer. The viewers must understand that there is a large temperature difference between the core of the sun and the outer layer of the sun, and scientists are really intrigued about it, and they really want to understand it. Apart from that, there are certain flares which keep coming out of the sun and have a potential of probably, having some impact on the spacecraft which are orbiting in the space. So, and we can't really predict them. So scientists are really keen to understand if they can figure out a way to predict these solar flares. So all these are different objectives of the entire mission, and finally it is on track, and we'll see the rocket lifting off from Sriharikota on 2nd September.
Let me cut across to my colleague Poonam as well. She's joining us from the newsroom. Poonam also has some updates. Yes, Poonam, please tell us.
Right, this is the tweet that has been put out by ISRO, not only confirming the date and the time of when this launch is going to happen, but also why it's extremely unique. So I just want to quickly take our viewers through that. And this is, like Shrishti was also pointing out, the major objectives, of course, she's outlined for us. But here's what makes Aditya L1 extremely unique. And this is what ISRO has now been putting out. It's the first time that a spatially resolved solar disk is going to be in the near UV band. what we are going to be seeing is that the CME dynamics that are going to be close to the solar disk, thereby providing information in the acceleration regime. It's not something that is usually observed, is what ISRO then goes on to say. They're also talking about why this is unique. It says that the directional and energy antistrophy of the solar wind using multi-direction observations is something that has never been done before, and that is what ISRO aims to do with this particular mission. Remember, right after the success of Chandrayaan 3, the chairman of ISRO, Mr. Somnath, had spoken to us here, and he had told us that this is
Welcome back, and the battle for 2024 is just about 300 days away. But there are intriguing dynamics which are unfolding within the alliance called I.N.D.I.A, the group of opposition parties which aim to challenge the dominance of the BJP in national politics. Cracks have surfaced, hinting at internal discord. This comes after the Samajwadi Party decided to contest the Madhya Pradesh election. It adds a new layer to the political landscape in the state and also to this particular alliance. The I.N.D.I.A party gears up for the Chhattisgarh elections. They've been trying that in Madhya Pradesh as well. A war of words over the face of the prime ministerial candidate that escalates, highlighting the intensity of the approaching contest. The alliance remains united under the banner of I.N.D.I.A. The states reveal a completely different story. So far, when it comes to the real tangibles of seat sharing, leadership, a joint leadership, all of those deliverables have not been seen as far as this alliance is concerned, at least in the meeting so far. Divisions seem to be at play, pointing towards a complex regional scenario. Will the alliance overcome its challenges and emerge stronger? Or will these internal divisions lead to unforeseen consequences, or I rather argue, quite seen consequences, which the political opponents like BJP have been predicting, that this alliance is just not a formidable enemy that they have as far as 2024 Lok Sabha polls are concerned. We talk about that story.
छत्तीसगढ़ में बात आती है तो आप पार्टी का प्रदेश का अध्यक्ष कांग्रेस के मुख्यमंत्री पे करोड़ों की घोटाले का आरोप लगाता है। दिल्ली में कांग्रेस के लोग कहते हैं मीटिंग हुई है और हम 7 की 7 सीट पे लड़ेंगे।
नीतीश कुमार जी प्रधानमंत्री पद की सारी योग्यताएं रखते हैं जो होनी चाहिए।
Well, let's take this question to our guests as well who are joining us on the broadcast. Aparajita Sarangi, who's a Lok Sabha MP and national spokesperson of the BJP. Reena Gupta, who's a spokesperson of the I.N.D.I.A party. Sujata Paul from the Congress party. We'll also be joined by Brij Mohan Srivastav of the NCP. But I want to quickly cut across to Sujata Paul first. Sujata ji, interesting statements that came from KC Tyagi today, who said that Nitish Kumar can be the prime ministerial face. Do you agree with that suggestion, ma'am?
There is no problem with anybody who wants to be the prime ministerial face, but it will only be decided by the alliance after discussions. However, when you are talking about the alliance, there are many leaders, and every party has very strong leaders, and that is why it is important for this alliance to stand for the democracy of this country and for the secular foundations which are facing an assault by the government. So everybody in our alliance can see the kind of faces that we have. These are people with great mettle, with great potential. So nobody can deny that. However, if you look at our opposition, which is the BJP, look at them. When did they have their last meeting of the NDA alliance? And they have only one face, right?
So that means everything has been centralized in a country.
No, but Sujata ji, the argument which is made against this alliance is that you have a problem of plenty. And if everybody wants to be the Prime Minister, how can you have a united leadership? And it's not just about the leadership. Look at what's happening at the various state levels. In Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in different other states where elections are bound to happen, there is no seat sharing agreement that has been agreed upon. I don't need to remind you the kind of public spat that happened with the Aam Party when Delhi elections were being talked about. So the real tangibles are yet to be ironed out.
A good question. You know, we are a federal structure and that is what the BJP wants us to forget. And in a democracy, we are supposed to fight each other, not physically assault each other, not begin to hate each other. But for the benefit of people, we need to question. And if we are talking about state elections, the scenario will remain different. But that doesn't mean that we become enemies of each other, which is what the BJP would want. No. So that is perfectly fine when we are talking about state elections.
But all of that is perfectly fine. But when you're fighting the mammoth machinery of the BJP, which is known to churn out good results, at least at the Lok Sabha, and look at their performance in the last 2 elections, I'm sure you need to do better than what the alliance is doing right now. Prajda Sarangi, do you want to come in on that? That unlike BJP, we have a lot of talent, there's good competition. What's the big problem?
A very good evening.
Good evening.
The unity of I.N.D.I.A is a mirage. And I think all 140 crore Indians have grappled with this fact by now. See, there are 3 issues before I.N.D.I.A and I think all of us are aware of it. One, who is going to be the coordinator of I.N.D.I.A? This is a matter of debate now. Number 2, what would be the seat sharing pattern? This is the most crucial question. Very difficult to answer. Very difficult to have a solution. And number 3, and very important, which we are debating at the moment, who is going to be the Prime Minister's face? Now, as far as the seat sharing pattern is concerned, see, it's very interesting. Just go for a very simple analysis. So many number of general elections have passed, and nowhere Congress has fought in less than 400 seats. So the point is, what seats is Congress going to leave this time? That's the question. Very important question. And number 2, just think of Puthupalli. Puthupalli is the assembly of Umen Chandiji, who is no more with us, and it is going for a bypoll on 1st of September, incidentally. The day when I.N.D.I. people would be meeting in Mumbai, that day the Congress party would be campaigning against the Chief Minister of Kerala.
Interesting.
So just try to figure out the kind of contradictions. They are suffering from inner contradictions and they do not have challenges from outside. They are suffering from inner contradictions, I underscore. So there are many questions that they have to answer.
A quick response from Sujata Paul. Then I'll go to Reena Gupta also. But before that, a quick response from Sujata Paul.
When we talk about who is going to be our face, let's be very clear. This is going to be Modi versus Mudda. Because the muddas of the people or the issues of the people are something that the Prime Minister doesn't want to look at. So the face of India Alliance will be the muddas of the people. And of course, like I've already said, that we are going to be contesting elections. We are, you don't have sportsman's spirit. And would Ms. Sarangi ever be the face of the Prime Minister post? If she got a chance, would she get a chance?
No, but Sujata ji, answer a very substantial question here. Let's bring in the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson Reena Gupta also into the discussion. Reena ji, your differences with the Congress Party on multiple issues are well known. We have had this discussion here on Viewpoint also when the Aam Aadmi Party versus the Congress Party was going on, when Alka Lamba made a statement that we have to be ready to contest on all 7 seats. You don't see eye to eye on multiple issues. Now, AAP wants to increase its footprints in states like Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh also. How will this really work? I can give you 10 reasons it will not work. Can you offer me one reason that it will work?
So, good evening. Let me start with a quote by Winston Churchill. As long as we have faith in our cause and an unconquerable will, victory will not be denied us. So let us not forget that in 2019, the opposition was divided and 6 out of 10 Indians voted for the opposition. This time around, we are united. And the people of India are tired of the misgovernance of Modi ji and his party. We have been very liberal.
Reena ji, one interjection. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. One interjection.
Let me complete.
You'll come back. I'll come back to you. One interjection to you. You are saying opposition is united. Substantiate how you're united. Having photo ops together is not united. Having a seat sharing agreement is being united. Please continue. Make your argument.
Yes. We are united in our vision for India. We are united in our respect for the constitution. We are united in the essence of India, what our freedom fighters fought for. So we are all united, and let's not forget that the last time around, only 37% of the people voted for BJP. How we will iron out our differences, what will be the seat sharing agreement, who will be the Prime Minister. We are so fortunate that we have so many tall leaders that any of those leaders can become the Prime Minister. So it is time for the Bharatiya Janata Party to tell this country that everything that they promised the last time around, whether it's on inflation, on employment, on women's rights, on any issue, they keep cursing the opposition. But the Prime Minister never talks about delivering on his last promises.
This slogan that has been given, Mudda versus the Modi Sarkar, that will stick with the people, that will work on the ground? Is that what your argument is? Because it seems
that is already working on the ground. That is the reason why BJP is so rattled. The Prime Minister in the Parliament could not speak properly. He was rattled. And look at his speech on the 15th of August. Again, more jumlas and jumlas.
That was a very powerful
रीना जी,
ये नहीं बताया कि हमने 9 साल में क्या किया।
जुमला तो आजकल सभी देते हैं। सवाल कुछ भी पूछो, जवाब किसी से नहीं आता, जुमलेबाजी होती है।
जुमलेबाजी में प्रधानमंत्री से आगे कोई नहीं निकल सकता।
नहीं तो अगर आपको चुनाव जीतते हैं तो आपको वहां भी उन्हें हराना होगा, लेकिन ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप हरा नहीं पा रहे। मैं वापस आऊंगी आपके पास।
देखिए, देश के लोग हराएंगे।
ब्रिजमोहन श्रीवास्तव
140 करोड़ लोग जो परेशान हैं,
आपके पास वापस आऊंगी रीना जी, आपके पास वापस आऊंगी। and the issue centric politics approach that you have raised is a serious issue that I take, and I'll raise that to the BJP as well. Brijmohan Srivastav, who is the spokesperson of NCP from the Ajit Pawar faction, is also joining us on the broadcast. Brijmohan ji, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. We have 3 formidable speakers from the BJP, Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, and we are talking about the future of the alliance called I.N.D.I.A. But it looks like that the NCP still has to figure out its own political future. How will you be a part of any alliance, sir?
No. Our future is very clear, and we have decided to join with the N.D.A, and we are working with the N.D.A because we personally feel that the country required a strong leader, and which is only the Narendra Modi ji in this country who can give a direction to the country. He is having a blueprint of this nation, and he is impressed the total voter of the country. They believe that
But that's not what Sharad Pawar ji thinks, sir.
No, Sharad Pawar ji, he is also a leader, and he can think his own way. But the total rank and file of the Rashtrapati Congress Party in the leadership of Ajit Dada Pawar and the leadership of the Praful Patel, we have decided to work with the N.D.A because we personally feel that N.D.A is only the party can give the solution of the problems that in this country. So we are working with them, so we are not confused at all.
You are not confused at all. Aparajita ji, आपके पास वापस आऊंगी. I'll come back to Aparajita Sarangi. Reena ji, I'll come back to you as well. But Aparajita Sarangi, they don't need one phase. They need a host of issues to counter this government. And this government has failed on multiple issues to deliver what they had promised to the people of this country. Mudda versus Modi Sarkar. That's what this alliance is arguing. Will it stick with the people? जुमलेबाजी का जवाब जरूर दीजिएगा. उन्होंने कहा कि आपने बहुत सारे जुमले दिए हैं, लेकिन काम कुछ भी नहीं किया.
See, to talk about the achievements of the government of Prime Minister Modi is showing light to the sun. I think everybody in the country knows what he has been doing in the past 9 years. And we have heard him from the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th of August. I think we are all well aware of whatever he has said. and we know what he has achieved. 13.5 crore people being lifted up from below extreme poverty line is not a mean achievement. From 10th largest economy, we have come down, we have gone up to 5th largest economy, and we are planning to go up to 3rd largest economy by 2027. I think this is all based on the kind of works that we have been doing, and I am sure these people know that India Today had just carried out the survey, and again Prime Minister Modi is up there, and this time N.D.A is coming up with 306 seats. I think BJP is coming up with 306 seats. So I think, see, we have to have facts and figures, some kind of analysis before we actually go for these kinds of statements. I reiterate, the blessings of the people are with Prime Minister Modi, because we have performed in on different fronts, and I must say, this is the government which goes to the people with its report card. Which political party, which government has gone to the people with report card, with confidence?
So Aparajita, also respond to this criticism.
Just give me 30 seconds.
No, I'm staying with you right now. Also respond to the criticism that why is it that BJP is losing state after state? The opposition parties argue that the footprint of the BJP at the state level is shrinking, and that is a testament that you have not delivered what you had promised the double engine ki sarkar.
Not at all. Who said that we would be losing the coming elections? Number one. Number two, just think of the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. UPA bagged 91 seats with 27% vote share, and N.D.A had 353 seats with 45% vote share. Now I tell you, all the surveys that are coming and the kind of blessings that we have been receiving from people, the kind of approbation that we have been getting from everywhere because of the performance in different sectors. I wish we had time to list out all the achievements. I think it is absolutely immature to say that, you know, these people would be anywhere near Prime Minister Modi. And when all these parties combine together to fight one person, always remember that person is very strong, and that person is marching ahead with a lot of confidence. And I think we enjoy the confidence of the people. There is absolutely no reason why we should say that we would not be performing
a quick response from Sujata Paul, then I'll also go to Reena Gupta. Sujata Paul ji, please go ahead.
Mr. Ajit Pawar was supposed to go chakki piecing, and they used to say that the Shiv Sena NCP Congress alliance was an unholy alliance. Now the NCP will be with them, one huge faction. They tried it earlier also. Look at their double speak. Second, yes, this is going to be Jumlebazi versus Muddebazi, because it is the people of India that are important. Scorching sun, yes, Mr. Modi is like the scorching sun. Give him the stature of the sun, but he has scorched the people's ambitions and aspirations. And the last point, report card, I come from Uttarakhand, Ms. Sarangi, and here protests are not being allowed. People are not being allowed, the youth are not being allowed to campaign in a
Sujata ji, I think those are fantastic points that any opposition party in the country should raise.
These are beside the point.
You know, but the point here is something different.
Can I speak?
Yes, Reena Gupta ji, a quick point from you, then I'll go back to her. Yes, please go ahead, Reena Gupta.
See, Ms. Sarangi was asking for facts and figures. Let me state a few. Mr. Modi had promised 2 crore jobs every year. So by now we should have had 18 crore jobs in the country at least. It's 40-year high record unemployment. 80 crore people are dependent on ration because 80 crore people are hungry. We are the lowest in terms of the hunger index. The kind of malnutrition and poverty, inflation and unemployment there is in the country, there is no achhe din for anybody except for the friends of Bharatiya Janata Party, which is what is written in the latest CAG report. There is this scam in corruption in every project of theirs, in the Bharatmala project, in the pension project, in the Gurgaon Expressway project, in the minority scholarship project. So Modi ji, who said na khaunga na khane dunga, now what is happening is ki Modi ji is saying mere sare dost khayenge aur koi nahi khayega, और जितने खाएंगे उनको मैं वॉशिंग मशीन में धो के भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ज्वाइन करा दूंगा।
सवाल मेरा आपसे ये है
प्रॉब्लम
कि ये तो बीजेपी की दिक्कत है, जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी और कांग्रेस कह रही है, लेकिन अगर ये लोग इतने ही बुरे हैं तो आम आदमी पार्टी मध्य प्रदेश और छत्तीसगढ़ में चुनाव क्यों लड़ना चाहती है? आप कांग्रेस को समर्थन करके कांग्रेस को मजबूत क्यों नहीं करना चाहते? क्योंकि किसी भी अलायंस का ये मूलभूत होता है कि आप एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करें जहां पर आप मजबूत हैं। अगर मध्य प्रदेश छत्तीसगढ़ की बात की जाए तो वहां पर बीजेपी वर्सेस कांग्रेस है, वहां समाजवादी पार्टी भी जाना चाहती है, वहां आम आदमी पार्टी भी जाना चाहती है। तो ये किस तरह की आपकी चुनावी रणनीति है?
तो ये बात तो आप अपराजिता जी से भी पूछिए ना कि जहां पे जिनके एनडीए के इनके अलायंस पार्टनर्स हैं उन स्टेट्स में क्या बीजेपी चुनाव नहीं लड़ती? स्टेट लेवल पॉलिटिक्स इज वेरी डिफरेंट बिकॉज स्टेट लिस्ट में जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, बिजली है, शिक्षा है, पानी है, वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को डिलीवर करना होता है। एंड दिस अलायंस इज फॉर द फेडरल पॉलिटिक्स एंड द पीपल ऑफ दिस कंट्री आर ऑल्सो वेरी क्लियर। लोगों को पता है कि स्टेट के चुनाव में किसको वोट देना है और सेंटर के चुनाव में किसको वोट देना है। सो पीपल आर वेरी क्लियर, पीपल आर नॉट कंफ्यूज्ड, दे नो हु हैज डिलीवर्ड ऑन व्हाट and they are very clear. And even in the last survey that Aprita Jyoti was talking about, 63% of the people have said that they are tired of the inflation, they are tired of महंगाई। मोदी जी खुद 8 लाख का सूट पहनते हैं और विधवाओं को और बुजुर्गों को पेंशन के 200 रुपए भी वो अपने एडवर्टाइजमेंट में यूज कर रहे हैं, विच इज व्हाट हैज बीन सेड इन द CAG रिपोर्ट। तो अब देश के सामने एक मौका है बताने का कि ये नहीं चलेगा, जुमलेबाजी नहीं चलेगी, भ्रष्टाचार नहीं चलेगा।
I have last few minutes on the show. Aparajita ji, a quick response from you. I also have to bring in Brijmohan Srivastava into the discussion. A quick response.
Very simple question
from the
to
CAG on
our friend from AAP. Will they leave contesting elections in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Delhi and Punjab? We have come down to where we started from, seat sharing pattern. Please look at yourself in the mirror. What are you going to discuss on 1st of September? How is the seat sharing pattern going to be? As far as Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, we are working very hard and we know that there is no vacancy in the seat of Prime Minister in 2024. There were 190 seats in 2019 general elections where we had locked horns with the Congress. Congress was second in most of the seats. And you know, I just went to that, made an analysis. Out of these 190 seats where, you know, we locked horns with Congress, Congress was we were 175 seats we won, and in 17 seats they won. And we were looking at the states where these 175 and 17 seats come from.
Okay.
And in all these states, SP, TMC and left have limited presence. You have limited presence. So those 190 seats, out of which we got 175 seats,
is there a convener that can be appointed of the
aiming at 350
More
seats.
importantly, is there a joint logo that you can come up with? And as it was argued by the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party that the state elections and the national elections are very different, hopefully there would be some kind of seat sharing agreement at the national level. Brijmohan Srivastava ji, a lot has been said about Ajit Pawar. In fact, Ajit Pawar was in the line of fire by the likes of BJP when he was on the other side, before he had joined the present government. Now for him to suddenly shift ranks and the fact that Sharad Pawar has not made his stand absolutely clear puts NCP in a very, very tricky situation.
No, NCP is not in a tricky position. We are fully comfortable because we have chosen to go with the NDA. And there is a towering leader, Shri Narendra Modi is there. So we are not in a tricky position. We are fully sound and we believe that the total population of Maharashtra will support us. There is no doubt in it. But I want to say, when they discuss the Ajit Pawar Sahab, why they are not discussing Lalu Prasad Yadav who was in the jail? Why they are not seeing P. Chidambaram Sahab who was in the jail in the corruption issues? So I think I.N.D.I.A are fully confused. They are unable to decide whether what they have to say. Why they are not
so far the Sharad Bhai Pawar is also a part of this particular alliance. He's not made his stand clear. I have last 2 minutes on the show. I want to give the time to Congress party and the Aam Aadmi party. Sujata Paulji, in the next meeting, which is very close for this particular alliance, what are the key deliverables what people can expect? A formidable opposition is important for any democracy. So what is it that we can have together? Would you have a convener? Would there be a common minimum agenda to give it more shape and structure, for which it has been criticized that it doesn't exist so far?
certainly we are going to be deciding on the future action. And of course, like you remember earlier also, our leaders have mentioned that we will be deciding on the seat sharing pattern. So these are things which will take time. Okay. And of course, we have enough time to decide that, and you'll come to know what we've decided.
Reena Gupta ji, my final question to you as I close this debate. The Congress party, indirectly or directly, has claimed Rahul Gandhi to be their leader. That's something which is not acceptable to a lot of parties, including TMC and the I.N.D.I.A party. Is there a common meeting ground you can have with a party whose vote base is the prime vote base for the I.N.D.I.A party in Delhi? I mean, the entire decimation of the Congress party is responsible for the rise of the I.N.D.I.A party. Can you really be on the same page?
We are on the same page. We are very clear that the country right now needs to get rid of Bharatiya Janata Party, and we are united in that mission. And the 140 crore people of this country are supporting us in this mission. And you will see that, you know, in the next few months, there will be all sorts of bayanbaji from people trying to break our alliance. But the alliance is very clear. The senior leadership of the alliance is very clear that we are going to make it work. We will stick together. We will have a common minimum program. We will have a seat sharing arrangement. And all of this will be ironed out in the next few months.
Buzzwords are going to define whether this alliance is going to put up a good challenge to the BJP or not. The common minimum program and also to have some kind of seat sharing agreement. That's what it boils down to. Aparajita Sarangi, Reena Gupta, Sujata Paul, Brijmohan Shrivastava, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Viewpoint. Plain Speak follows with Shivani Gupta.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Another blast case has rocked the state of West Bengal. At least 9 people have lost their lives after a blast at an illegal firecracker unit in Duttapukur area of North 24 Parganas. This happened on Sunday morning. The intensity of the blast was such that the house was reduced to a pile of rubble within a few seconds, and 5 to 6 houses nearby were also damaged soon after. Governor C.V. Ananda Bose visited the spot, met with the injured people in the hospital, assuring strict action in the case. Meanwhile, opposition in the state, both the BJP and the Congress, for example, have accused TMC of trying to shield illegal firecracker factory owners, indicating to a larger conspiracy behind such blasts as well. Leader of opposition in Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari, in fact, has filed a plea in Calcutta High Court demanding an NIA probe in this case. TMC, of course, has called these charges and demands politically motivated. Now, the Agra blast 3 months ago had forced the state government to announce some measures to shut these illegal factories. Several raids were also conducted. Outside of such raids, even during recent panchayat polls, for example, explosive material was found, including sacks of crude bombs. Somehow, such activities are going on without much trouble in the state of Bengal. Is the state government, with law and order in its control, not fully responsible for this situation? The committee, mind you, which was formed after the Agra blast, headed by none other than the Chief Secretary of the state, is yet to submit any report on the issue. There is no other state in the country today where so many